He thought his badge made him untouchable, able to intimidate, silence, and control. For years, Officer Briggs thrived in that illusion of power, shielded by a system that rarely questioned him. But one night, everything cracked. A young black man was stopped without cause, left bruised and broken. Briggs thought it was just another night he'd bury under paperwork. He was wrong. Because when he stepped into court, staring at the woman who refused to bend, he realized something terrifying. This time, his badge wasn't enough to save him. Alana Parker never set out to make enemies of men like Briggs. She was young, ambitious, and believed, almost stubbornly, in the fragile promise of justice. Every case mattered to her, but this one was different. A phone call shattered her evening. A young black man, barely 20, beaten and humiliated during a routine stop. No drugs, no weapons, just skin color mistaken for a threat. The officer's report read like fiction, but the bruises told a story that could not be erased. That officer was Briggs, years on the force, known for being tough, yet whispered about for complaints that never stuck. Victims who backed down, witnesses who went quiet, cases that disappeared. A man who wore confidence like armor, because the system always reinforced it. But not this time. There were witnesses. There was shaky phone footage. And there was Alana, who saw more than just one client's pain. She saw a pattern. Stepping into the courtroom, she knew what it meant. She wasn't just up against a cop. She was up against an institution that had long shielded him. Still, Alana chose to fight. What she didn't yet know was just how far Briggs would go to keep his power intact. The trial began, heavy with doubt. Briggs entered in full uniform, chin high, his smirk daring anyone to challenge him. He had beaten this before. Why would today be any different? But the cracks began to show. Neighbors testified. One had heard the shouting, another had seen the struggle. Then came the bystander footage. Blurry, shaky, but damning. Enough to paint a picture that Briggs couldn't fully control. Alana pressed forward with fire. She framed this not as one bad night, but as years of unchecked abuse hidden behind a badge. Each word chipped away at Briggs's facade. The gallery grew restless. Jurors leaned in. Briggs countered, calm and calculated. He twisted facts, painted himself the victim, and claimed he feared for his life. For a moment, hesitation spread. Authority still cast long shadows. Then the young man took the stand. His voice cracked, not from weakness, but from reliving trauma. He described the coldness in Briggs's eyes, the crushing weight against the pavement, the ignored pleas. His truth cut through the silence, raw and undeniable. Even Briggs's mask slipped. The momentum shifted. It wasn't Alana versus Briggs anymore. It was truth versus power. But power fights back hardest when cornered, and everyone in that courtroom knew Briggs wouldn't let go easily. Briggs leaned forward in cross-examination, voice sharp, predatory. He tried to corner the young man, to confuse him, to reduce his truth to fragments. For a moment, the fear returned. The boy's hands trembled, his eyes darted, but Alana rose, steady, unflinching. She dissected Briggs's testimony, exposing contradiction after contradiction. She replayed the footage, frame by frame, not defense, but domination. The silence that followed was louder than any outburst. Briggs's mask slipped, his arrogance faltered. And for the first time, the jury wasn't looking at a cop. They were looking at a predator in uniform. This wasn't justice served by a badge, Alana declared. This was fear weaponized against innocence. The air shifted. The verdict felt inevitable. The verdict shattered Briggs's illusion of power. Guilty. His badge, once a shield, was nothing now but a relic of abuse. For Alana, it wasn't victory, it was survival. For the young man, it wasn't healing, it was acknowledgement. His scars would remain, but at least his truth was seen. Outside the courthouse, the crowd buzzed. Some cheered, others wept. But Alana knew this wasn't the end. One conviction could not undo centuries of injustice or silence, the countless names we never hear. Still, it was proof. Proof that truth, once forced into the light, can crack even the thickest armor. And here's the truth. This story isn't just about Briggs. It's about us. About the silence we break, the courage we show, and the voices we raise. Racism doesn't end with one verdict. It ends when society refuses to look away. So I ask you, how many more lives must be shattered before justice isn't the exception, but the rule? That answer begins with us, with you. Share this story. Speak about it. Refuse to let it fade, because change doesn't wait. It's demanded. And maybe, if enough of us rise together one day, we won't need stories like this to remind us what justice really means.